We're here at the CCW anniversary show, and I'm here with the reigning defending world heavyweight champion of CCW, QT Marshall. How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm championship title less right now. One of the things I hate to do is bring the title with me back home to Georgia. So I give it back to the owner. That way I'm not in control of it, so I don't lose it. You know, it's not often that I'm a champion, but that's why I'm not holding the title right now. But by the end of tonight, I still will be the champion. So we'll have to take a picture later while I'm holding the title. But I'm doing great.
Might as well rock and roll.
Being the champion is the feeling, though. It's the title. It's not the belt, right?
That's right. As they say, the belt is just a prop. But when you have it in your hands and you know that you're the face of the company, it does bring a lot of pressure, but it's a lot of fun as well. And anniversary, the 20th anniversary, it's a humongous event. Daddy Ass is here, Gangrel. I mean, Matt Riddle, right? I mean, it is the event of all events. So I'm very excited for it.
And you've been appearing with CCW consistently lately, but we also know that you work for AEW. So how has it been different working with local Florida indie crowds versus working with AEW crowds?
The biggest difference for an AEW was a lot harder for me because I was working in the office as well as working in the ring. So I always tried to do what was best for the office, for the company. Here, CCW, on the indies altogether, I get to do what's good for me, right? And I get to be more of myself. And also, what I love to do is work with the younger talent, try to get them a little more experience and so on and so forth, and what I could do to give back. I actually wrestled for CCW in 2008, in 2007 when I first started. So coming back here and being able to hopefully help and build this brand and let people know what CCW has, because they have a really great thing going. So that was my goal. I think we've done that. I know every show that we've been doing ever since has broken every attendance record that we've ever had. So I'd like to think it's because of me. No, it's because of all the hard work. And but it's cool because now when I go to AEW, I just bring my computer and I just work in the office. There's no stress. I get to have all my fun here. So this is excellent. Glad you're here. This is it's going to be a tremendous event. Like I said, I'm pretty excited for it.
And talking about doing what's good for others, we also know that you're a trainer and you're a co-owner of Nightmare Factory, and you've mentioned combining the two things a little bit. But can you talk about how being a trainer, like to me, obviously, you know a lot of things and you can do a lot of things, but does it make sense to do everything for a certain character, or do you have to kind of hold yourself back a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the best part about knowing how to do most things, I won't say I know everything, but I know a lot. Is knowing your audience, right? So like if I go to AEW or Ring of Honor, the style's a little bit different. So we're going to pull out a lot more exciting things, so on and so forth. In the South, it's a little bit different than the North. West Coast is going to be different. So all in all, I mean, I tell everybody it's always good to have as many tools in your tool belt as possible. This way, when you're out there and you're seeing other things that are going on in the ring, you're watching the matches before you, which you're supposed to do, you can see if other people are doing similar things. And doesn't make sense for me to go out there and just do the exact same thing someone else did before that, right? That's what makes us different, what makes this fun. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the fans, they're not into the moves as much as they're into the characters, right? So, and I do preach this a lot. They don't remember what you do, they remember how you made them feel. And that's it. If you can make them feel, but you have to do good wrestling moves, and you have to be trained the right way. You have to. So I really stress the fundamentals to the point when you're out there, you kind of make it look like it's easy, right? Like Will Ospreay, he makes that crap look easy because he's been doing it so long, and he's just owned his craft, right? So I firmly believe in that. I love training people. The Nightmare Factory, Cody and I say it's one of the best schools out there. I mean, CCW has a great thing going as well. We teach all the beginners, so a lot of fun. I think this is it. We did it. Thank you so much. Here it is, world champ. CCW champion, we did it. Look, now we don't have to come back later. This way she could get out of here before the show ends. It says it all right here, CCW champion. I'm going to smile for this one.
Yeah, and we're in CCW right now, and people love you. We just saw the show in Kissimmee. People were so behind you, but we also saw your rivalry with Pentagon in Mexico, and people hated you. So was it more difficult working with a crowd that doesn't necessarily speak your language, or you don't speak their language? How was that for you? How was that run for you?
I'll be honest. Wrestling is universal. I truly believe that. Again, it's about how we make them feel. As long as I can make them feel when it's my job to be hated, I'm going to do everything in my power to be hated. When it's my job to be loved, I'm going to do everything in my power to be loved. That is what I feel is special about being a well-rounded professional wrestler. I can go out there and, in my mind, I believe this, and I've done it before, I can turn an audience like that. And especially if I have someone else across from me, and I can relate them to the audience like that, they could be one of the most over people on the show. If you don't believe me, ask Action Andretti. Ideally, it's one of the things I was taught from when I first started by Bubba Ray Dudley, Bully Ray, and I've just always kept that in mind. And like I said, it's my job to do whatever's best for the company and whatever's best for me. And in Mexico, my job was to be the most hated person out there. I didn't realize I was going to hit in the head with a light tube a couple times, but, it worked out for me, So.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, there were light tubes, and the final match that you had with Pentagon was very much on the hardcore side of things, which is still in wrestling to this day a little bit underground. Sure. Some people believe that it's inherently too dangerous, way more dangerous than classic, quote-unquote, wrestling. Would you agree with that statement?
1,000%. My wife would agree, too. There was nothing she liked about me coming back with all scars up and down my back. But at the end of the day, there is a time and place, and when it's done the right way and the story is built the right way, the good money could be drawn, and that's all this whole industry is about, right? Selling tickets, making people feel. And if you get them invested, like Pentagon, he's one of the biggest stars in AAA in Mexico. And you get me, position me in the right manner to get the heat. It's magic.
Yeah, and we've seen AEW feature more hardcore wrestling than probably any other televised American wrestling company ever in history. Is that something that you vouch for, and do you think hardcore/deathmatch wrestling will become mainstream at one point, or will it forever remain underground?
I think there's a time and place for everything. Swerve and Hangman, it wasn't everyone's cup of tea drinking the blood. But it did really well for Swerve. It did really well for Hangman. Swerve's wrestling for the world title this weekend, right? So it did something great for him. I don't know if it can be done every night, if it can be every week, but I do think there's a time and place for anything, because that's what makes AEW, I believe, one of the best professional wrestling brands out there, is they give a little bit of everything. Right, and there's a little bit of everything for everybody, whether it's lucha libre, whether it's Joshi wrestling, whether it's New Japan style wrestling, whether it's Orange Cassidy, who's his own style, whether it's the QTs out there, the old school kind of guys, FTRs, you know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit of everything, which is why I think it's a smaller audience than like a WWE, but it's a more passionate audience. It's that diehard audience, They'll go with you to the end, right? What is the saying, Cody's song? Go all the way to the end, which was an AEW first. So, yeah. I like I said, I don't think it's something that could be done every week, but right time and place, it could do really, really good things for the industry.
Another thing that AEW showcases that's very unique is some snippets of intergender wrestling. We got an intergender spot with Willow just recently, like a couple days ago. Do you have a strong opinion on intergender wrestling, or wrestling is just wrestling?
Ideally nowadays you try to stay away from men hitting the women. Women hit the men. Again, if the story fits and it works, I think it can happen. If you're just doing it to do it and say you're going to do it, then I'm not a big fan, because I don't like doing that for any kind of match. Just go out there just to do it, right? I believe if there's a story built in, anything is possible. And that is the best part about this being an art form. We can do whatever we want, as long as it logically makes sense to an audience member, and you never give an audience member that feeling inside like you took their money and you're giving them bad magic. I always say that, right? Just give them good magic. They'll go with you till the end.
And we know that you work with AEW on the backstage side of things right now, but can we expect some in-ring action in AEW from you anytime soon, or are you done with that?
For now, I'm done with it. When I went back, it was strictly to work behind the scenes. Luckily, my deal with AEW, I can wrestle anywhere besides WWE. So who knows where I'll end up, Right now I'm just trying to have fun, and my schedule is pretty busy being at CCW and doing some stuff back home in Georgia to help out my school and stuff like that. So we'll see. But I like going to TV with my backpack, and that's it. I don't have to worry about my gear getting lost or anything like that. And of course, one of the good things about being a pro is I'm always ready if I have to be. So I'm not too worried about it. Maybe I'll start leaving my gear at TV, right? That's a good idea. And then if they need me, I'm always there. But for the most part, I just want to come, help out, produce some stuff, and be there for Tony when he needs some questions answered,
Well, very excited to see you wrestle tonight. Very excited to see where the journey takes you next. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I hope you have a great time.